Hi guys, it's Ella and Vic, and welcome back to Femme Talk, our podcast. And today we're just going to have a quick catch up because it's been a while. Have a little chat about where we're at with our own training, nutrition, goals, body confidence, etc. I'm actually really excited because me and Vic haven't actually caught up on this for a while. And then we were thinking the other day we were talking about this topic, which is so current right now. And we thought, this is a great podcast topic because it's a very controversial one, and it would also be great to know what you guys think as well. And it's along the lines of botox, filler, and kind of aging. So that's kind of what we're going to move on to later on. But first of all, hi Vic, how are you? Tell me what's new.
Hello, guys. It's been a long time no hear, I guess. So I'm excited to have this little catch up with everyone as well. I don't even know when was the last time we've actually had like a full-on episode when we were just catching up and talking about ourselves, because we've been trying to bring like different types of values for you girls. As you know, I'm not exactly in an incredibly exciting period of my training career. I'm just trying to like maintain what I have without losing my marbles or like going to like crazy or obsessed with like my training. I don't know. I'm just still in this maintenance phase, I suppose, where I'm trying to be living the mum life and then also trying to live the healthy life with a good balance. So it was 2 weeks of half term. We definitely haven't talked about that. That was amazing. I've spent lots of time just sort of refilling my cup. I think finally we've got some good weather as well. So I've done lots of outdoor activities, which have been
So much.
amazing. I know, finally. It just makes things so very different, like your general mood,
It does.
that
Like
you wake
even if
up.
your day's not, even if you've got stresses on or your day's not perfect, if it's sunny, it just makes everything that little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just came back from my dog walk, and honestly, it's just a very different vibe. Although it's been super windy today, you do some days just go out on your walk because you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake, I gotta get them steps, or like, gotta take the dogs out, or Whereas when it is sunny, it's actual like it's an actual vibe. Yeah, it's been lovely like that. And then now we are week 3 post half term. And yeah, I've just been focusing on getting back into my training because, of course, I don't have as much time to train when it's half term. I do tend to kind of use those weeks as like a quote unquote deload week. So I think it works quite well that every like sort of 6 to 8 weeks you get a half term, either 1 week or 2 weeks. So that when it's not half term and it's school time, I like absolutely smash and focus on my training. And then when it is, then I'm not really feeling like quote unquote guilty for not doing that. I know that my body does need that time off as well. So it's quite nice to.
It's like a deload for mums, but it's given to you by the schools.
Yeah, it's given to me by the schools and life. I suppose it's given to you by choice as well, because of course there would always be a way for me to find time to go to the gym. Like, for example, Noah is old enough now so that I could go to the gym and he'd just like sit, for an hour, and then I'd be fine doing that. But I just don't want to. So I think this is where I'm like, I feel really grateful for all that hard work that I've previously put into my training and nutrition, so that now I'm just really comfortable and confident in not having to do that. I suppose it's also down to mindset, right? That all the mindset work I've done, that I don't feel the need to have to always hammer
Yeah.
it from all ends, and then I can allow myself to just sit back at that time. But yeah, I find that that's currently like a really nice balance for me. So now I'm in the week 3 of trying to train really hard, which is really nice. Continuing to focus on making sure that I eat enough. I feel like that's still a big thing for me that I need to focus on. Like, I haven't tracked for 4 years. I'm still not tracking. Every now and then, like a week before my period, I start to think, oh, maybe I should start tracking my food. And then I realize, oh no, actually you're just going to come on your period and it will be fine. And it is fine, because literally in these last 4 years, like my weight has been like up and down by 2 kgs, which is completely like normal. So it's been
Yeah.
nice and stable.
I
And
went
so,
through a phase
yeah,
of
I'm just.
I went through a phase of having the itch to like, oh, should I track? But in the last year, like every time I said that to myself, just from not even from I don't want to build muscle or lose weight, but I just want to have an eye on what I'm eating. But every time I went to do it, I would do it for like half a day, then forget. And then the next to be like, oh shit. And I just realized like I don't need it. And that's why I'm not sticking at it. So
I
for the
think
last
it's
year, totally, like, that doesn't even cross my mind anymore.
Yeah. I think we always talk about like your value system and like what's important to you and like priorities and stuff like that to our client. And that's what's going on here. Like, it's not our priority to like improve our physique at the moment. Our priorities like lie elsewhere at the moment because we're happy in our own skin, isn't it? So then, because I've gone through within the last 4 years, I've gone through the exact same thought processes several times. Like last year, I had so many holidays. Right, we went to Marbella. And then like, I don't know, 10, 12 weeks before Marbella, I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to do a cut for Marbella. And then I started tracking my food for 2 days and I thought, fuck you cutting for? Like, you're all right.
Literally,
Like, you don't have to worry about it. And then
literally.
because it is, you wouldn't forget it because you know that you can just turn on that like discipline that you've had from the past, but it's just not important anymore. I know for you guys that are listening, this might not be the case and you're like in the trenches in your diet phase, for example, or something like that. And we're really sorry that you have to listen to this, but I promised you that at some point,
It's
our
hard.
goal for US coaches is to get to this place. But
Yeah.
you do have to remember when you hear us talking about this is that we have also gone through like some absolute grueling muscle building and fat loss phases in order to get to this, alongside of working on our own mindset as well to be okay with it, right? Because
Yeah,
we're not
I was
like
gonna
maintaining our bodybuilding physiques at all.
yeah,
But yeah,
I was gonna add to something that you mentioned where you were like, "You don't need it anymore." I actually go off like, yes, I'm happy in my physique, but I don't need to track because I'm looking at other factors telling me that I'm doing well with my nutrition. So, like, my recovery is amazing, my strength is increasing, my energy is good, my sleep is good, my menstrual cycle is healthy. So when I'm looking at that and I'm like, cool, everything's sweet, like, why do I then need to question if I'm not fueling myself enough? Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So if one of those things started to change, that's when I might be like, oh, okay, maybe I should track for a week or two and just see, like, am I not eating as much protein as I thought or whatever? So yeah, there's those other factors as well. But I think something also that I was thinking about when you mentioned earlier, like, oh, we're in like our mellow phase, like we're finding that balance between training, still progressing with that and enjoying it, but also it's not like the whole thing in your life and you've got lots of other areas that fill your cup. So yeah, oh my God, what was I actually going to say? I was going to say, I was talking to a friend the other day and she was like, Ella, do not downplay the phase that you're in just because you're not smashing a big goal, like a high rocks or a marathon or an ultra or a bodybuilding comp. She was like, what you're still doing is inspirational and aspirational for many people because they have not achieved that yet. Like they have not found that balance. They have not found the physique or built the physique that they're happy in and they don't know how to maintain it. So she was like, although it's not some extreme goal, your day-to-day life is what people are working towards. And I was like,
yeah,
that's so true. Because in all honesty, coming away from really extreme goals like bodybuilding comps, you do then start to think, this is nothing now. Like this is just boring. Um, and she was like, absolutely not. Like, although it's not an ultra or a marathon, like you're still people's goals in how you're living your lifestyle. Many people don't have that balance. Many people aren't comfortable in their skin. And I was like, actually, that's so true. So
yeah,
I just thought of that conversation that I had with her the other day. But yeah, I am in a similar boat to you. I'm obviously entering I don't want to say CrossFit era because I don't really, um, I don't really care about like the Olympic lifts. I'm not going to lie. That's not really what I'm interested in. But I'm very much enjoying my strength and conditioning. And I am enjoying learning some more gymnastic based movements at the minute. I'm really working on my muscle up. So that was a goal that I set myself in January. So I just thought it's really fucking cool. Like, and not many people can
yeah.
do it.
I do watch your posts and I'm always really jealous because I really can't wait for me to find some time at some point to do some gymnastics because that is, yeah, I think that is like a fun thing. It's like a little bit
It's
going
fun.
back into
Yeah.
the playground and then like just learn some moves. Keep going, by the way.
Literally,
I've
it's
just got
like
to let
an
Rupi
adult
out
playground.
because yeah, it is an adult playground doing that stuff, and that looks really cool and fun to do.
Yeah, and then my friend again, she was like, most people can't do that either. So even though it's not a big competition you're working towards, you're still working towards something that not many people can do. And maybe I'm not hitting new PBs, but the weights that I can do again are still like really strong. So that conversation with her was so actually confidence boosting. So I was like, yeah, like I am working hard. It's just not towards a competition of some kind. But yeah, I'm enjoying that, but I'm also taking it like quite casually. I aim for a certain amount of sessions per week. Sometimes they move around. If something comes up in my week and I have to miss one, so be it. I might pop out for a run. Again, no goal as such. It will be like 4 or 5K. I take an interest in the time just to see like what it was like compared to the previous one, but I'm like so casual about it. So yeah, I'm enjoying that balance at the minute. And generally, like body image wise, really content. I think the most content I've ever been in my life, actually. You know, obviously eating disorders from my teens, recovery, bodybuilding, coming out of bodybuilding. The last year or so, I just feel so at peace with my body. It's actually it was quite an overwhelming feeling when I realized that. I was like, wow, it's taken me a long time, but I now can just walk past the mirror and I'm just neutral. Like, I don't think much to it because I've got to a point where I'm like, yes, I want to look nice and I feel good in my clothes. I feel like happy with what I see, but I just know that there's so much more to me than that. Like, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it just feels like a really peaceful place to be in at the minute. This is actually so funny. So, like last night, this is how my head works at the minute. I got into the shower and I was like, oh, like late night, late PT, then had to be up really early to teach classes in the morning. And part of I don't know what went through my head, but I was like, you should really fake tan. Just, you know, like every girl goes through that moment where they're like, oh, I really should fake
Yeah.
tan. And then instantly my brain was like, yeah, but you can't be fucked. You just want to eat and get into bed. You're absolutely fine as you are. And then I just took a moment back and I was like, oh, I've really trained my brain to be much nicer to myself now. And it was just like
Yeah.
one of those moments where it's like, I've come a long way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
most people do feel like, you know, they have to do that. Like, I'm not going to get my legs out in the gym until I fake tanned or something like that.
Yeah, I think this might lead us on to the conversation that we kind of want to talk about, isn't it? Because
Oh, yeah.
um we wanted to talk about like how certain things that we do as women, or obviously some men do it as well, within the beauty industry, we do it like due to like because of fashion or like because we feel like we have to because everyone else is doing it. And it's just like how not just social media, but generally the media is making you feel like you need to like invest into. And I think fake tan is like one of those things, isn't it? I think for us, fake tan, especially because we come from the bodybuilding industry. So like even a heavy, like dark fake tan, like lifestyle fake tan for us is like, yeah, fine. It's completely normal for me. And it's funny you say about the fake tan because I've been thinking about this. I actually will admit I have been going to the sunbeds the last couple of weeks. I wear SPF on my skin. Don't judge me because I know like that's a little bit controversial as well. But I'm going to blame that because I blame my Eastern European roots for that one because I'm even taking that back like so much more so than what I used to do. So sun's out, everyone feels more pale than they normally would do because the sun is all harsh and on you. And yes, you want to get your legs out and whatever. So I didn't start going to the sunbed because I want to get extremely tanned. And I did also think about fake tan, but I could not be asked to do that, to be honest. I couldn't be
Oh, it's
dealing
just
with
orange
the
bed sheets that smell.
I actually quite like the smell of it, to be honest. So it's not the smell for me. It's more the stains. Stains absolutely everywhere, no matter what you use as well. And it's more so as well that it will be great. It will look great for about 3 or 4 days, maybe a week if you're only having showers and no bath. And then after that, you start to have the tiger bread crumble and then you have to like do it all
Yeah.
over again. So it's just like another big thing to do. And I'm again not judging anyone who does do it because that's absolutely fine. And I do know that it makes me feel so much better. Like there's just like this thing about being tanned that makes you, I don't
You
know,
kind of
feel
like lose
better.
that glow, don't you? I
Yeah.
actually because I can't be asked to fake tan anymore. I always also this is so random, but I also find that I sleep really badly when I apply it because you know, like you leave it on overnight, but then I feel like really sticky in bed, and I'm like, it makes me sleep really bad. I use the Dove tinted moisturizer, which might sound like a really old lady thing to do, but it actually, if you get
It
the dark one,
does.
it does give you just like a slight tint, and it looks more natural.
Uh-huh.
You don't have like, it doesn't smell, it just smells of a normal moisturizer. There's no
Yeah.
streaks unless you completely fuck it up, like no streaks at all. And then you don't get any tiger bread. legs because
Mm,
it's not like that. It's funny because I was thinking about doing some sunbeds. I know it's bad for your skin, but then I don't know. I feel like we need to get some kind of skin specialist on, which you mentioned as well. That would be a
for
really good
sure.
podcast. I'd have so many questions. But I also I think
Free
saw a reel,
consultation.
literally like just sort me out. I saw a reel or a post or something with some skin specialist, and they were like, "There's nothing wrong with exposure to the UV rays of the sunbeds or the sun, whatever, but it's about gradual exposure rather than being locked away all winter, then burning in your summer holiday." And that's what made me think, well, like for my summer holiday, I have that problem every year. Like you go out there really pale and that's when you're going to burn and obviously do like damage to your skin.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe if I just build up my tolerance to the UV rays and
Hmm.
so do you know what I mean? Like not actually to tan really hard, but just to like prep my body to go abroad.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean, and that's kind of what I do. Obviously, Fully Pumped Gym had got a sunbed in there a couple years ago, and I finally got myself to start using it last year for the exact same reasons because we had so many holidays last year, and also, I'm sorry, but Kim was basically a black woman for Marbella, so we
So
had
this is
to
one of our best friends. Yeah, she made us look albino.
Yeah, I mean, she was tan A, still is, by the way. Anyway, so it's her pressure, the pressure of standing next to her as like a UV light bulb, and also my Eastern European like heritage of how I actually used to tan like that. And since I've lived in this country, I'm just an albino person as well. And then also just knowing that I'm having all these holidays and I don't want to burn and I want to be able to like
Yeah.
tan and enjoy the sun. Already having a nice base tan is handy as well. But yeah, so that's how I started doing a gradual tan at that time. And I thought, right, this time, this year, it's time to do it again. Not that I have any holidays booked at the moment, by the way, sadly, not
Even
until
if there's like a
December.
heat wave in
But
the summer.
sorry.
I said even if there's a heat wave in the summer because we tend to have them once a year now and then
But yeah, you go out gardening and then you burn and then you have
yeah,
ugly lines. Yeah, I didn't want that.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I started using the sunbeds for that reason. And I do use SPF on my face. So my face will probably continue to remain very pale, but it's just for
Yeah,
my
I always
body.
do that. Yeah. So what we were talking about the other day with like beauty standards and like what's a really current topic at the minute was Botox, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, oh, go on.
We were talking about that because I think I had my Botox done like a few weeks back, and I was basically telling Vic that I posted a reel like the next day, and I was actually just having like a really good skin week, and the light was hitting me right in the video. So my skin looked really, really good without any like filter or anything on it. I don't use filters. And I can't remember what I put. I posted up a reel and then some guy commented on it saying like something like, oh, the Botox hit in then. Um, and it really pissed me off. I'm assuming he said like, because he was then suggesting when I commented back that like I couldn't move my forehead. And I actually can move my forehead. I just wasn't really expressing myself very much in the video. So it was like
Go on,
quite.
show us. Prove it. There's minimal movement there.
First of all, I was like, classic, a guy commenting on a woman's appearance when it's got nothing to do with what's in the video. I was like, that's just really unprogressive. Like, are we still doing that? So that's what initially annoyed me. And then I guess it did hit a little bit of a nerve personally because I was like, yes, I get Botox because I'm not ready to accept my skin aging. Like, that's, I guess, an insecurity of mine. Just like, leave me alone. No one's perfect. And it is a really controversial like topic because there's lots of celebrities at the minute as well who are backing off from, using Botox and filler and stuff and aging naturally. I don't want to say gracefully because I think that's disrespectful to people who choose to age however they want.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love this trend. And I think this is exactly what we need so that people like me do feel like one day they can just be like, you know what, I don't need that anymore. Like, I accept myself aging. Because so far we haven't had that. We've never had, celebrities, women portrayed who are aging naturally, like portrayed to be beautiful or glamorous. Like, it's just that cultural, how do you word it? We live in a culture which still validates women on how they look, hypersexualizes them, and that's very much to do with how they look when they're younger, and as they age, they're kind of deemed, not as attractive anymore. And we've seen some horrific comments online as well. I've seen some reels where celebrities have talked about a comment they've had about comparing them to a film when they were younger and they were like 20 in the film, and she's like, I'm fucking 40 now, like, sorry for aging. Do you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
comments on the red carpet and all this type of stuff. Who was the celebrity? Was it Pamela Anderson who went completely like makeup free, ditched the Botox?
Yeah, she's quite
Like,
big on that. And Cameron
love
Diaz
that.
is one of the women who is very strong on aging without any sort of interruption to the natural process, to say that. And yeah, I obviously I do agree with that. That is still sadly the thing. I've had a few conversations with my clients who are, well, the same age as me. I'm 37, so we're now coming up to four. And I think that a little while ago, I want to say, like, maybe in the era or like the generation of my mum, that sounds like or feels like you are like an older person. Whereas I really don't feel like that. I think we do, like our generation, I think we have definitely extended what it means or when it means for someone to be considered an old person. And I don't think it's based on what they look like. Also, we do have lots of different things, like the different tools available to us, both with regards to science in like skin aging and like just the products and stuff that make us or allow us to extend us looking younger, like such as Botox and things like that. More readily available, I suppose, because they were available
Yeah, accessible.
to older generations as well, but not as readily as it is now to us. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that it's like such a big dilemma that we can unpick today. And also we started talking about this because of my lashes, because I was going to get rid of my lashes because
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't have the infill for ages. I've actually had a few people comment on my Instagram or like then come up to me because I nearly had no lashes at all. And some people were like, oh my God, like you look so different. What is it? Oh my God, I've never seen you without lashes. I was like, remember this face because you're not going to see it again. I literally have had lashes for like, I think over 10 years, with the exception of lockdown. And then when Noah was born, well, he was born just after lockdown, but then there was a phase when I had to like switch lash techs basically to find the right time slots and stuff like that. And so basically this time round, I didn't plan for them to all fall out, right? It was a mistake. But it was the first time in like this entire 10 years where I felt like, do you know what? I actually feel like I'm not ugly without my lashes on. So before I'd had my lashes, and you do get like kind of really used to them, like you get used
Yeah.
to your face and how it optically like changes what you look like. And then before, whenever I'd had no lashes for whatever reason, I just felt like I have no eyes. I just felt ugly, all that kind of stuff. Whereas now I didn't feel like that. I thought actually I look really nice without my lashes on. And I literally debated not having them done again. I think I remember I even said to you that I am going to tell my lash lady that if I die, she will do my lashes one last time. I'm going to the grave
Yeah,
with my
you're going
lashes
to
on,
the
right?
grave with a full set.
Yeah. And so, yeah,
There'll
I
be
think this
like
is also what
there'll be like a pile of dust eventually, and then just some like plastic
just
lashes.
the plastic lashes. Yeah, literally. Also, apparently, your hair stays as well. Because I had this conversation afterwards with my lash tech, and she said hair stays as well. So it would just be a skull, some plastic lashes, and then my hair. It would be a
Okay, this
lovely
is our
sight if
morbid
whoever
brains.
opens my grave. Yeah.
Anyway, what were we saying?
Anyway, this has led us to think about having and recording this podcast because I do think that there's like right or wrong with like having Botox. There's no right or wrong whether you have your lashes or whether you have your Botox or whatever. But I do think that like it should come from like not an insecurity thing.
Totally
Do
get
you know what
that.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think someone should have their lips done, have their like fillers or Botox or whatever because they think otherwise they are of no value to like whoever.
Yeah.
I see makeup and Botox and all these things as something that I really like and enjoy. It's a little bit like art for me. Like I like what I look like, but like who wouldn't want to build it an upgrade, right? Like there's
I
nothing
guess
wrong
it's
with
a
an
similar
upgrade.
bodybuilding mentality. Like, it's that idea of like sculpting a body and
Yeah, it's just like
being
perfecting what you have.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think also if you're just perfecting what you have, then you'll seek a more natural look rather than some people like go about actually trying to actively change what they look like. And then your satisfaction rate is going to be different then as well. And then also like the dial, like how much you turn the dial and how extreme you go with stuff like this is also going to be very different, isn't it? Like there are people that literally can't live without all their fillers and things like that, but they
yeah,
have changed their faces and so drastically, then it's almost like creating them a completely different,
yeah,
you
that's
know what I
them not
mean?
themselves at all and just wanting to change it. No, I totally get what you mean. It's a place. It's to come from a place where you can take it or leave it. Like you said, if your lashes all fell out, like fine, you don't like you're not the world's not going to end. Like you don't think you're ugly. It's just that you
Yeah, like
prefer
before,
yourself.
100%. Before, I would have never filmed a story or a reel with my lashes off. You try and go do a podcast with me, I'd be like, no, sorry, gotta go get my infills
Yeah,
done first. No way.
I remember trying to organise an event with you, and you'd be like, "Nope, lashes are next Wednesday."
Sorry, guys, I'm not allowed out of the house.
I think no, I completely agree. And I had to sit and think about that, like I say, that comment online, which triggered me a little bit. I really reflected on that because whenever something triggers you, it's like, what's getting your feathers riled and why? Do you know what I mean? Like I said,
Yeah.
one thing was that like we just shouldn't comment on how people look online, like completely fucking irrelevant to what I was talking about. And then secondly, I was thinking, okay, it also annoys me because yeah, at the minute, I do feel better with it. I don't go crazy with it, but I think it's taken me my whole teens and 20s to come to that place of being at peace with myself. And then I remember getting my first grey hair like last year, and I did have a little bit of a meltdown. I was like, ah, I finally feel at peace and really good. And now I'm entering a new phase of life, which is going to throw new shit at me to come to terms with. And it wasn't so much about how I looked, like a few wrinkles or a few wrinkles. It was what bothered me was like I didn't feel ready to age. Like I didn't feel ready to accept that I'm getting older because I spent so many years. I guess I regret those years that I wasted, like having disordered eating. I wasn't living life fully at all. I wouldn't change it, but I did spend a lot of my time not living my best life, to be quite blunt. So I
Yeah.
think the physical aging just made me feel anxious. Life's moving fast. And do you know what I mean? That was like where the uncomfortable feeling came from. And it was almost like if I can just, as you say, like mentally, I'm like 25. And if I can just hold on to that mentality for a little bit longer, it was more of an accept. I'm not ready to accept life is moving really fast. That was what I
Yeah.
worked out. It wasn't the wrinkles itself. It wasn't the gray hair itself. There's nothing wrong with an odd gray hair. Like, it was like my way of, okay, let's just like try and slow down time a little bit. That's what I came to the conclusion of. And I think I'm in a really happy place right now. And I think eventually I will feel comfortable to be like, do you know what? I don't need that. Side story though is Botox is really good for clearing my skin because it obviously reduces how much you sweat. So that's actually
Mhm.
why I rebooked in because I was like, why do I keep breaking out on my forehead? It wasn't because I saw wrinkles. I was like, why do I keep breaking out? Like I sweat a lot in the gym. I know that. We all know how much I sweat in the gym. So that was what made me book in and think it's just nicer to have,
Many,
you know,
many,
when
many
you're
positive
exercising a lot, you're
benefits.
sweating a lot, you don't want to wear makeup. That was what actually led me to book in. But I'm quite happy to be like honest with that realization because some people do want it obviously because they just don't like the look of wrinkles and whatever. I realized it was a fear of life passing quickly feeling,
Yeah.
which is something that I just need to obviously work on myself. And let's be honest as well, although there's this new trend of celebrities, people in the media aging naturally, that's happened in like the last 6 to 12 months. I've grown up for the last 34 years, not with that role model. So it's not like in the 6 months you're going to be suddenly changing how aging is perceived. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a very
Yeah.
new, like that's not what we've grown up with. it's a little bit like changing how you see yourself and your body. That doesn't happen overnight. But I very much like this trend. And I very much look forwards to the day when I'm like, yeah, do you know what? I don't need to book in again.
I think I like the trend because, like you say, like we've been seeing all the artificial beauty and people not aging and whatever. So it's nice. And that's quite an extreme. I think that's a very extreme thing to be shown for sure. So it's nice to be seeing the other end of the spectrum as well on celebrity. It's like the exposure, isn't it? Because the things you see every day, not that like anyone's 100% aiming to be like Cameron Diaz or Pamela Anderson, and also not that people are 100% aiming to be like Kim Kardashian, but like being exposed to both ends of the spectrum then allows you to, or I suppose urges you to find like maybe your middle ground as well, rather
Yeah.
than just seeing like only that one extreme is the acceptable option. So then this way people are presented like two different options as opposed to only one as like to have
Yeah.
for
Yeah. No, you're
goals.
right. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, every individual is on their own confidence journey, and that's a lifelong journey because we will go through new phases, new challenges, and how that person chooses to work through that is totally individual. So that's why I only, if there are women out there who are older than me and they do feel like so tied to Botox and filler and like it's something that they can never let go, like that's not to judge, that's to empathize and, hope that they continue that journey of trying to be okay without it. But I think that's also what it just comes down to, which is what a lot of the end of our podcast come down to is to live in a society which has more empathy for other people, that they're all on their own journey.
Yeah, I think beauty and fashion is a little bit like art. Like everyone, and art is in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? Like everyone will
Yeah,
have different
100%.
tastes. Everyone will have things that they prefer on themselves. Everyone has different budgets as well. And that's going to, yeah, that's going to be creating a world of different options, and they're all okay. I do just think that we need to maybe think about, so if someone is feeling like their whole identity, or like a big percentage of their identity relies on like how much work they get done, or like if they're not able to leave the house without makeup and things like that, like how I was before, then I do think that perhaps there is something that they need to work on deep down, so that it's something that they enjoy and might still get done, such as makeup or like me with my lashes, but it doesn't keep them hostage, because that's what I used to be like. I used to didn't leave the house without makeup, like absolutely no chance. Same, like I said, with my lashes. Like I wouldn't be able to do my videos if my lashes weren't like done. And I think there's just levels. Like there's levels of like, yes, I'm detail oriented. I want to make sure that my presentation is up to the standards, whatever, because of work, or, some people are just like that well put together, and that's okay. But you should still be able to be confident enough to be able to leave your house without makeup if like something happens and you need to pop to the shop, or like you're going on a dog walk, like you don't need a full makeup, or the same with the gym as well, right?
Yeah, it comes back to that principle of you can take it or leave it. Like you say, if you really like the full glam look or more work done, because as you say, it's a creative thing and you like playing around with your looks, like absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. But it comes back to like, you don't have to have it in order to leave the door.
Yeah.
I think this comes up a lot in fitness because obviously in the gym we're sweating a lot. A lot of girls, I used to be this person. A lot of girls feel like they can't go without a full face of makeup or like foundation and stuff.
I mean, I look better with it. When I've got time, I'll do it. But when I don't, I just go no makeup. And yeah, I think that's what it is, isn't it? And again, if it's hurting your skin, you should be able to not wear a makeup to the gym because you know it's bad for your skin, so that your skin can actually improve in the long term, isn't it?
Yeah. And that again comes down to like your sense of self-esteem and I remember going through that phase myself. I went on Roaccutane in my 20s because I had quite bad acne. And that's when I was in my phase of, I wouldn't go to the gym without makeup. And then you go through, you know, phase of needing to keep it clean and just having to bite the bullet and not wear makeup. And you do like, it feels like the biggest thing in your head is worrying what other people think. And it's so funny because like now, obviously I know like no one gave a shit, but it's like the biggest thing in your mind. So I totally relate to girls who feel like that now. It's that fear of judgment, isn't it? Which comes up
Well,
time
it's
and time
just, and it's also perspective, because I've had really, really bad skin as well when I was a teen, like hideous. And I remember, like, when you have a spot like right on your forehead, right? And you can't do anything with it. You've put like so much makeup on it, but it's still sticking out. And then you just look at yourself like this. This is how you look at yourself, and then try. Yeah. And that's all you can see. And then you're walking around, and then you're actually sweating because you know it's right there and all you can think about. But um, other people aren't like looking at you like this, and they're also not staring at the imperfections on your skin. They're looking into your eye, right? They're looking into your eyes, and that's what their focus is. And their focus is on what they're talking about with you, not like staring. Like, yes, if it's like an absolute savage spot right in the middle of your face or nose, like it's probably in their eyesight, but they're not going to be like talking to the spot, and it's not going to reduce the value of a conversation or whatever other value you have to give to that person. Or like, even if you're not giving actual value, like your value as a person is not going to be downgraded just because of what your skin looks like,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. I think, no, it's
But
so
yeah,
right. Like, even if they do clock that you've got a massive spot, it'll stay in their brain for like 2 seconds and then they won't think about it. Like,
yeah,
yes, they might be able to see it, but that's it. Like, yeah,
everyone's had
it's,
spots, and everyone knows how shit it is to have spots, and everyone knows that it's just a thing and that will go.
but that also comes back to the beauty standards, isn't it? Like, we are bombarded with perfect skin in the media. So that doesn't help really. Like, we're not often shown
No,
what
but
real skin looks like.
have you actually ever met someone with like a glass skin? That's currently the
No.
trend, isn't it? Have you actually met anyone? I've
Well, no,
never
like,
seen
even if
anyone
you
in
said,
real life. No, I've never seen anyone in real life with hair that they have in the L'Oreal adverts, unless you've just come out from the salon. Because I've had fucking hair like that after a hair salon, right? It's all dried. It took 6 hours, and my hair is actually probably gone down in quality because it's been hair dried and straightened so much. But it looks amazing for about an hour, and then the wind
yeah,
comes, and then all that.
mine doesn't even last
It's
an
just, it
hour.
just doesn't exist.
Doesn't
It
last an
just
hour.
doesn't exist.
Yeah,
No.
so,
But
yeah,
like
hold
all these
yourselves to that.
commercials, yeah, all these commercials, they're just, I think what I've learned a lot through doing a lot of my own photo shoots or our photo shoots, like through the years. I think, and this is one thing we often say when we're promoting the shoots as well, by the way, and disclaimer, this is not an ad because we don't actually have a photo shoot at the moment, but it's when you learn what goes into creating those images or those videos, right? Like how much prep you do with your hair, your makeup, how much the professional lighting matters and changes, like what someone looks like on camera, how much the camera itself like makes things look different. Then you start to realize like what you're seeing on TV in pictures is just, I mean, you know it's not real because people are telling you it's not real and you've heard it, but you don't actually understand until you see yourself in that light and you keep practicing it and realizing it. Like that's, I mean, I'm sure there are some people who understand it anyway, but for me, that is when it really hit. When I've
Mm,
started doing the same stuff, like I can see myself through this lens now and I look like I've got fucking perfect skin. I'm like, I know that's not the case because if I look in the mirror and I start to look at myself really close, like my face is not like that, you know? But in this night, because I've got my ring light on and with this camera and with the makeup I have on, like I'm like, oh my God, like I've got really good skin. But in real life, that's not the case. And I think those things are very,
yeah,
very
it goes for
important to
body.
remember. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
because
gonna say it goes
you're
the same
aiming for,
for body photo.
oh yeah, for sure. You're aiming for an unachievable goal. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a really good post the other day on Instagram. because obviously it's quite a trend at the minute to get like the high rocks pictures. And a girl did a really good post, can't remember who it was now, a coach, on she did a comparison of the professional photo where she was captured in good light and like was tensing her muscles and looked athletic, and then a picture where she was just standing slouched, didn't look so athletic, could see cellulite, and it's like the same day. It's just two different shots and on different cameras, different angles, different, like one's moving, one's not, and all these things. And I thought it was another way of highlighting really nicely how that impacts that, because that's such a trend at the minute to get those pictures. Yeah. I don't think I had anything else to add to that, to be honest. I feel like um we've gone quite in depth there. Is there anything else that came to mind?
I don't know. I'm gonna have my lashes done later. And I need to book in for my botox. I think I was thinking a little bit about what you said about how you were like wanting to slow time down and stuff like that. And I did go through, obviously, I've moved countries. So I feel like although I'm 37, I do feel like I'm not actually 37. I've always felt a little bit behind because I feel like when I moved to this country, the settling phase of like actually learning the language, like finding friends, like actually not working in a disgusting job and like working up like in jobs and studying where I am who I am. I feel like I've lost a few years there as well. But luckily, maybe about 10 years ago, I felt like I was behind a little bit. I don't feel like that now, but I don't have. So although I do feel like I've lost some years, I don't feel like I'm behind. And I don't feel like I have this like urge of or like fear of aging. I definitely want to use all the tools to my taste, and my taste is more like natural to
Mm.
be able to slow down my aging. But like, I don't feel like I'm freaking out about it. I don't know why. It's obviously a good thing, but
Yeah, you're a few years older than me as well, so maybe that's also come with time. Do you know what I mean? You've done
yeah, I don't know.
like
Maybe,
I were, and you've gone through all of that.
yeah. Do you think that maybe you don't feel like you are where you want to be yet? And that's why you're feeling like, not that I am, like, I don't feel like I've arrived, but
No,
do you
because
feel
I
like
feel
maybe you're a bit.
exactly where I should be. It's
Mm.
just um all those years in my 20s where you should be like, you know, hot girl summer, living your best life, taking banging pictures, taking all the experiences, traveling and all these things. I was like, I feel like I did not do that. I was very much limited because of my self-confidence, my eating disorders. I was quote unquote behind in comparison to other people, like because of the recovery. I had to take literally a couple of years off life. So
Mhm.
whilst I was going back to uni, my friends were graduating, buying houses, getting a job. So I was always a few years behind in that sense. I don't feel behind. I don't feel like I should be anywhere else. I don't feel like I should be married with two kids right now,
Mhm.
content with where I am. But I do feel more and more now that I'm feeling like my best self. I also feel like a blink and a week has gone. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're so busy, you've got more friends, more things in a diary, like more events to get, like life, it just moves faster when you've got so much on. And I think I was like, oh, I just need to, just need to slow down. I just need to enjoy where I'm at before I then focus on my next phase.
Not have to deal with this shit. No, okay, fair one, to be fair.
You know what I
Fair
mean?
one. I
I just
do
kind
think
of,
that, yeah. I do get that time goes really fast. That's the same for me. I do think like how are we here? How do I have a 5-year-old? He's literally 5 next month. Just things like that. And that sort of stuff, when I say, oh my God, I have a 5-year-old, that does make me feel old. Like that makes me feel old. But it doesn't, I don't know. I don't know. I
it's
mean,
also
maybe,
a
yeah, but
really, I
I
was going to
was
say
just
it's a
thinking of
really,
my mum.
yeah.
I was just thinking of my mum because I was then going to say, but maybe it's because my mum has aged so, naturally and graceful and she was all fine with it. And then once I told her that she's going to be a grandma, she was like, right, I'm growing my hair out and it's now all grey. She didn't give a fuck. As soon as I said, right, I'm pregnant, she was like,
It's all
obviously
great now.
crying and all that. And then instantly was like, I'm growing my hair out. No problem. And then I was then going to say maybe it's because of that. But then your mum is someone who's aged gracefully. It's not like she's like a really, trying to pretend she's not her age type of person,
No,
is
I
she?
don't think
So
it's anything to do with other people. It's just what they're doing or role models or anything like that. It's just me. And I was going to say, I think entering your 30s is a really weird time because you're not old, but what you enjoy doing starts to change typically, like your values start to change.
yeah.
Responsibilities typically increase, and that transition can make you think, oh shit, I'm getting old. And you're not old, it's just that how you spend your time, your values, these types of things, like you might not want to go out getting drunk every weekend anymore, and that can make you feel like, oh, I'm old now, and you're not. But it's that transitional period, isn't it, in like your early 30s, I think.
Yeah, I
So
fucking
I
love it
think
though, don't you?
I know, but what I'm saying is, I'm not saying, I think at first when I entered my 30s and I started to realize, like, I just don't want to do that anymore. Does that mean I'm not fun? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that I did
Oh.
go for a little phase like that. And I think a lot of people actually do. So that probably, thrown into the mix maybe.
Yeah,
And I actually
maybe I get
feel like my knees are working well again. I can train how I want, feel great. So I feel mentally I'm 28.
is the joins. I
Yeah.
can't say the same for my knees, but we move.
We move, quite literally. Well, I think that's a good point to wrap it up there. So yeah, I hope people just related to this because I think what we're saying is quite like just honest and relatable.
Yeah.
I feel like, I've quite literally said I'm human. I still have that to work on myself, and I've said why, and that's something that over time I'll, accept. And there's no right or wrong, as we said, but as hopefully we can all get to a point of the beauty standards that are projected onto us, we can take it or leave it and know that we're okay without it. I think is obviously what we said is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully this was relatable. And I definitely think we need to get a skincare like cosmetic person in because I'd love to learn where I'm
Yeah.
going wrong or I don't know. I just love
Give
skincare.
us more tools, girls. Just give us all the tools in the box.
If my money doesn't go on coffee, it goes on delicious smelling creams. And it's just an obsession that I have.
You do
I don't
really
know.
have a
I just love
problem.
it. I just love feeling moisturized. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. I'm just I just like a couple of things and then I don't like to get like loads or too
No,
much, but
I am
I've got you
obsessed.
to do the research.
Fantastic. To be
Yeah,
fair,
I've
I've
got
also
you
had
to
so
do the
many
research.
Yeah, I've had so many female clients over the years, like, tell me their skincare tips and like, "Oh, you should try this," or vitamin C. So then I really like trying new products and seeing which is best, but it's a slightly indulgent habit. But, let's wrap it up there. We'll get a skincare person on for you guys. Anyway, we hope you found it helpful and relatable, and we shall be back soon with another podcast. I've got someone lined up who is an Olympian athlete who is one of the most confident people I've ever met. Like her energy literally is so catchy. She won the Olympia last in figure fitness. So I'm getting her lined up. I think I can't describe it. Like if you're in a room with her, you just feel really fucking good. And then you've got your eye on a few people as well who you're trying to get on. Yeah, hopefully we can bring you lots of different stuff. So should we wrap it up there?
Yep, we'll see you guys in the next one. And make sure to follow, like, and share this episode so you give us some love back, please.
Bye.